Hi there, I'm Dr. Krista Kerlinkis, and today I want to talk to you about a problem that a lot of nonprofit leaders come to me with, and that is that they don't know how and where to find grants. In fact, they've zeroed in on this question of where do I look for grants as the most important key to having grant success. They think I'm not winning grants because I don't even know where to look. And I hear a lot of experts in the field of grant writing give the same advice over and over again. They'll say, oh, you need to invest in a grants database, whether that's GrantStation or Instrumental or Foundation Directory Online. The problem with this advice is that assumes that just having the right database means you're going to find the perfect grant, and that when you find that right grant, you're going to win it. And that's just not true, absolutely not true. So let's say you sign up for a year subscription to GrantStation and search by your location and area of interest. Maybe you even filter the results by the type of funding you need, which is great. Then you're feeling really optimistic about that long list of opportunities that comes up, so you just start by sending in a few applications. Then the next week you apply for a few more. And then you're feeling like you did some good work, so you sit back and wait for the award notices to roll in. Except they don't. Now, you might be feeling discouraged. You might start doubting your programs, your mission, yourself. The thing is, please don't start doubting everything that you do. Instead, I want you to question the advice that led you to this moment. I want to encourage everyone to take a step back and reframe the question I hear all the time. The problem is not actually that you don't know where to look for the right grants. It's that getting grant funding requires a holistic strategy. I like to think of it in terms of a framework. You need an entire framework in place that addresses all the different aspects of grant seeking. So what I want you to know is you can't solve the problem of not getting the grants you apply for with a quick fix. You won't start winning grants magically just because you finally have access to a grants database. There are actually 3 questions that you need to ask yourself. First, you need to ask, is my organization grant ready? Second, you need to ask, do I have a grant pipeline full of opportunities that I'm qualified for? And finally, you need to ask, do I have a winning grant narrative? And you also need to ask them in that specific order. Don't gloss over any of these steps thinking that you can really do without a thorough evaluation of the grant opportunities you find. For example, because you think you'll just write such a good application that they have to fund you, even though they've never funded anyone like your organization before and you have not even reached out to them. The fact is, they won't fund you if your work doesn't align with their priorities. Now, how do I know that the framework that I just mentioned actually gets results? I know this because I use it with my own one-on-one clients and I teach it to all of my grant writing students. When people hire us as grant writers on retainer, the first month of our contract involves gathering all the information we need, doing a thorough grant readiness analysis, grant search and evaluation, and writing a standard grant narrative. And then we have a full strategy designed for the next few months. Only in the second month do we actually start applying for grants. And we're more successful with these clients and those applications in the next months because we've laid that groundwork in month 1. I want you all to be strategic in your own grant seeking because your time is so valuable. You absolutely don't have time to waste on applying for grants that aren't a great fit. And I want you all to be strategic because you're doing important work that deserves funding, and having a framework in place is the number one way to be more successful. The result when you implement a framework and start being strategic with your grant seeking is that the award notices will start rolling in. You'll also spend less time applying for grants because you're not going to apply for any that aren't a great fit. You'll also have a standard grant narrative that you can quickly pull from and tailor to specific funding opportunities. And you'll have a grant pipeline that's integrated with your calendar or project management system, so you always know which deadlines are coming up next. Imagine a year from now having the funding you need to actually run your programs the way you want to and grow your impact, and the funding you need to pay yourself and your staff a living wage. That is my dream for all of you. So if you want to learn what your next steps are for getting the grant funding you deserve, take my free Grant Genius quiz, and you will get a free customized 24-page workbook that corresponds to exactly where you are on the Grant Genius scale and will tell you specifics of what you need to do next to be successful with grants. All right, thank you so much for watching today, and I'll see you soon.